Hello and welcome back to the Crochet Nerd. Today we are going to be doing some fingerless gloves with a Minecraft skeleton face in them. We did the hat in our last video, and this is just a simple little glove. You can embellish on it. You can crochet out around the thumb hole. You can make it longer, and this is a child size, but I will explain the sizing during the video. And what you need to begin is some Caron Simply Soft or any of the same worsted weight yarn in white, black, and gray, just like what we used for the hat. And you're gonna need some stitch markers, and I'm using a 4.5 or a 4 millimeter hook. You could use a larger hook to get a larger size, or you could simply do a longer foundation crochet chain. You'll need scissors and a tapestry needle. Now, as well, I have done some bobbins just to make things more simple for me. You don't have to use bobbins, but it's a little easier than trying to cut and all that stuff and restart. So, to begin with, if you measure around the hand that you're making the glove for, the widest part of the hand, like, for example, if I were making this for myself, this would be right about 8.5 inches, give or take a little. I am not making this for myself. I am making it for my son, whose hands are quite a bit smaller, and therefore my measurements are different. I'm looking at about 6.5 or 7 inches around the widest part of the hand, which would be where the thumb is. Now, to begin, we need our slip knot, and I am going to do this in a foundation half double crochet instead of chaining and then half double crocheting across. We're going to make the half double crochet as we go. You could, I'm starting with a foundation of 25 stitches, so you could just chain 25 and connect with a slip stitch to form a ring, and then half double crochet around that ring. But I am going to chain up 3, yarn over, go into that first chain. Excuse me, I need to chain up 2. I'm doing half double crochet, not double crochet. Yarn over and go into the first chain you made. Pull up a loop, pull through 1, that makes our chain, and then pull through 3, that makes our first half double crochet. Now I am going to stick a marker here just so I don't lose that stitch. We're going to yarn over again and go into the bottom of our chain. Make sure you catch both loops. This puts a nicer edge on the project. Yarn over, go through 1 loop, then through 3 loops to make your half double crochet. And we now have 2 half double crochet. We are going to do this a total of 25 times. So yarn over, go through the first loop, then pull through all 3 loops on the hook to make a half double crochet. There's 3. Yarn over, first loop, there's 4. Let's show you one more time. Yarn over, go into the bottom 2 loops of your chain that you just made, like so. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. yarn over, pull through the first loop, 3 loops on the hook again, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. We now have 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pardon me, 5 half double crochets. Now, we will meet back up when we have done this 20 more times. So we have a total of 25 half double crochets. Okay, guys, I misspoke a little bit earlier and said something about joining in a ring. But we don't actually need to do that, because if you look on this glove that's finished, I did a seam up the side. You could do this in a ring. Skip some stitches here. And I do want to show you a neat way when you do crochet in a large ring like this. If you do your foundation chain with your stitch already in, like foundation half double crochet or double crochet or single, whatever stitch you're using, and then you come over here and join your loop. I have 25 here. Just go into your first stitch, top of your first stitch, and slip stitch. If you do it in a foundation chain, it makes it simpler to not twist your chain while doing this. And then you would just take a tapestry needle, take your tail, and sew it around inside your stitches, weave that end in, and then your chain would be joined up. I am going to be doing this in rows and not turning it. And turning it so that it's completely reversible. And I have my 25 half double crochets here. So now what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn. And let me show you real quick. If you measure this across, you have right about, when you don't stretch it out, right about 6.5 inches. Now, I know I said 7 inches, but we are going to be putting a line of, or I said 6.5 to 7 for my size, but we're going to be doing a line of single crochet around the outside of this. Now, if I were making this for, say, my hand, I'd want to be on up about 8 stitches, 8 inches, so I would have to add probably about 7 or 8 stitches to this. So it just depends on the size that you want. You need to measure the hand you're making this for, or have some idea of about how big that hand is. But we're going to turn our chain, and we are going to put a half double crochet in our first stitch and in every single stitch all the way across this row. And then we are going to chain 1 and turn again. We're going to do that a total of 6 times. So basically, all we're doing is just half double crocheting across, chaining 1 and turning, and we are doing that 6 times for 6 rows. So we will meet back up after we have completed 6 rows of half double crochet on this project. We've half double crocheted 6 rows here of the white, and we're going to begin our face in the next row. So we chain 1, we turn, and we're going to need to mark out the 12th stitch. So here's our first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you don't necessarily have to mark it, just as long as on the 12th stitch we change our colors. And I will count my stitches as I go too, because I am horrible at keeping up with things. So it's half double crochet across. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this is 12. And we're going to drop our yarn down on that 12th stitch. We're going to stop. And get our black yarn to finish this stitch off. So we've got a black bobbin here. Give us a bit of a tail. Let's finish that half double crochet in the black. And then we'll begin our black stitches. 1. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We are doing our face from the bottom up. I started at the bottom for this one. Pardon me, I shouldn't have completed that 8th double crochet because we're changing back to white here. So we need to stop with our 3 loops on the hook. Pick up our white yarn and complete that last stitch with the white. And we will finish the row out in white. It will get just a bit more complicated here shortly, but nothing we can't handle. Three, and there should be 5 stitches here. 4, and catch that last one on, and 5. Did not mark those stitches, and I'm really bad to miss at the end of rows, so rearrange some bobbins here. Now, if we were doing this in the round, we would crochet all the way around, and you would have to carry this black yarn back and forth. Since we're doing this as a flat piece, we don't have to do that, which is lovely. Let's crochet over to our 5th stitch, half double crochet. Maybe pop a marker in there. I tend to miss end stitches if I don't mark them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to be number 5. Drop our yarn down here. Pick up our black. Kind of put your finger right here at the stitch, because you're going to have a little black loop on the back side that you're going to want to catch with your stitch when you make your first white half double crochet. Pull that loop up, 2, and then we're going to crochet all the way across. Just following those black stitches. We're repeating the last row exactly. Drop your yarn down, pick up the white, again kind of hold it Try to show you this time. Snug that black down just a little. When you go into your white stitch right here, which is kind of hidden by that black yarn, there's a little bit of that white that we want to cover. Otherwise, you're going to have like a little bar going up the front, and we don't want that. And then we'll just finish out this row in the white, and we will meet back up on the next one. Alright, we're back at the end of the row here, and I have went ahead and snipped this black bobbin off because this portion is finished and we will need it again later on. And I've weaved in a couple of ends. I'm going to go ahead and weave in this last white one. And we just want to go kind of back and forth in the stitches. I actually got a different tapestry needle. This one's got a little bit of a point in it. And we're just going to go under this at least 3 separate ways, so that our stitches don't, or our ends don't come out of our stitches and be showing. I just want to do this real quick to show you guys that this is going to be completely reversible. You can flip it this way, you can flip it that way, and you can, however. Now, for the next bit of the face, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we do still have this white bobbin, which I think we can just carry that over, possibly, maybe. Might better cut it. I don't like carrying white under black. It shows too much. I'll get that end in later. Now, just going to half double crochet across. And we're going to go over our first 3 black stitches. Here's our first one. We're going over top of the black. 2 and 3. On the 3rd stitch, we're going to drop our yarn down here in front. We're going to take our gray and pull up a loop. And you don't have to use the exact same brand, just the same color yarns. So if you have these colors in your stash, just make sure to do a gauge. This gauge is 5 stitches across in 1 inch, and 3 rows make 1 inch. And hopefully I have enough gray in this bobbin. I'll make my tail just a little bit smaller. We're only doing 2 stitches, so. First stitch right here. 1, 2, and we'll stop right there, and we're going to pick up white here, finish that gray off. And go directly down into the next stitch here. And pull that gray tail out. Do not like mixing colors. And then we're just going to half double crochet all the way across the rest of the row in white. Alright, we're at the end of our row. We're going to chain up one and turn. And this next row is going to be an exact repeat of the last one. So, half double crochet across. And the number of stitches, I'm not marking anything really because I have the chart for one thing, which again I will link in the description. And for another, we're not going, you know, 5, 6, 7 stitches across. This is very small. We're just using a very few stitches here and there to make this face. This would be a glove sized for, you know, 4, 5, 6 years old. To go bigger, again, all you have to do is increase your chain and kind of a measurement of usually 5 stitches. If the hand you're crocheting this for is really like a large adult hand or something, you would have to go 6 or 7 stitches over to begin your face. And we're at our last white stitch right here. We're going to start it. Drop our white down and pick up our gray. And again, 2 gray half double crochets. And if you look, this is what I was talking about picking up. I'm going to go in. If I can get a hold of that little bar right there. Just slip that yarn over your hook before you pull your loop up. If you don't, you will have a bar going up this part of your stitch. We don't want to do that. It looks gawky. Drop down the gray. Bobbin's finished anyway. Pick up our white again. You kind of put your finger right here and hold that. It makes it a little easier to get a hold of that when we do our next stitch. You can almost just pick it up as you go. Make a face helps. And then just half double crochet across in the white again. When I get to the end, I'm going to stop and trim these bobbins off and weave in some ends, and we will meet back up at the start of the next row. Okay, we're back up here. Finish that row out, and we are going to half double crochet in white across and stop to change our colors 2 stitches before our gray ones. So we'll have one of these little black stitches and then we'll be in the white. It'll carry up. We'll have 2 blacks staggered to either side of the nose here. So, half double crochet all the way across. I believe it's 13 stitches. You want to count. And like I said, I went ahead and weaved my ends in. This is reversible, so you know we can flip this side or this side, either way. All these Minecraft patterns I'm doing are quite similar in the way they're done. We have 2 white stitches left before our gray starts on the row below. So we're going to stop. I haven't completed that half double crochet. And we're going to pick up our black. Get us a bit of a tail here. And finish off that white half double crochet in the black. Make 1. It's not how I normally hold my yarn. 2 black. And again, we're going to stop with our 3 half double crochet loops on the hook, because here we need white. We're going to stack that white on top of the gray. This is the complicated bit. Flip our white to snug that black down just a bit tighter. Half double crochet 2 whites. And I'm catching that tail under there just because it makes weaving in the ends. You only have to go 2 ways instead of 3 with them. And again, stop with 3 loops on the hook. Pull that down. Pick up our black. And we're going to leave all these bobbins attached for the next row, which will be an exact repeat of this row. And we're going to do 2 half double crochets in black. Pull down the black. That bobbin up here. I have 1 more white. May situate my tails. That first stitch after we change colors, sometimes kind of tucked down underneath where you've got all this yarn. You have to pull it aside to see. But now we're just going to finish off our row in the white. Chain 1 and turn. And we will repeat the exact same thing here. I didn't mark my last stitch last time. I have to remember to. Because it almost looks like you're done there, but you're not. There's 1 more little stitch tucked right there in the side. And these will all be 25 stitches across. The whole shebang. So again, we're going to half double crochet across to our black, and we are repeating exactly what we've done in the previous row here. So your pattern is laid out for this row on the piece you're crocheting for you. last white stitch here. Stop with 3 loops on the hook and drop down our yarn. Pick up our black. Kind of hold that so we get that bar on our next stitch. Yarn over, go into the black. Got that bar on the back. Up. There's 1 and 2. But we're going to stop and finish this off in white. Yarn over, go into our stitch, catching the excess white from the back. There's 1 half double. This is our second. Again, drop the yarn down. And everything we're dropping down here in the front, we are going to just snip off and weave in ends in a minute. Now, if you want, you could just wait until you're finished completely with the project to weave in your ends. I generally don't like to do that. I like to, it's less work, or it feels like less work if you do it as you go. I've stopped with 3 loops on the hook for that last black stitch. And change to the white. And this is, again, what I'm talking about with the little bar. You want to catch that piece of yarn in with your stitch before you yarn over and pull up your loop for your half double crochet. Because if you don't, then you'll have that white bar coming up through the skeleton face. So I'm going to finish off this row. And we can go ahead and trim every single one of those bobbins so them off out of the way. And we have all those lovely tails there to weave in. Finish this off in white. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we are going to crochet across, all the way across, 25 stitches in the white for 3 rows. And we will meet back up when I complete that. We need 3 rows of white half double crochet. I'm going to pause long enough to weave in these ends and do that, and we will meet back up at the end of our 3rd row of half double crochet. Alright, we're back. Have to our creeper glove, and we have crocheted 3 rows of half double crochet on the top of our face, which we've got in. I've went ahead and weaved in all my ends so that both sides of the fabric look the same. And now what we're going to do is single crochet around our rough edges. So basically, we're just going to do a single crochet all the way around the entire project and weave in our last tail down here as we go. And what we want to do is chain 1, and we're going to be putting 1 single crochet into the sides over here of each row. So single crochet all the way around, and it'll kind of round your edges a little bit as you go. I'm keeping a little bit of a loose tension here. Pulling just a little, and it should straighten out, because on the corners we're going to do 2 single crochet. May put me a stitch marker in up here. We're going to stitch to there at the end. And we're coming up on our first row across. So what we're going to do is just simply put 2 single crochets into this same stitch to turn. And turn our corner nicely. And then on this row, we'll just single crochet across. Do the same thing on the other side. And we will meet back up at the end. Each corner, 2 single crochets. Okay, we're back around to our beginning here. We have 1 stitch left in this last row. And we are going to put 2 single crochet into that. 1, 2, and then we're going to slip stitch right here and chain 1, finish off. Now, I suppose if you wanted to, you could fold your edges together and single crochet down, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to sew mine together. I'm going to chain 1. And get me a nice long tail for sewing. Pull that through for a knot. And now my other glove I did here, this is for the right hand. Some holes right there. So we want this to be the left-handed glove. Keep having that little tail come out here. That through there. And we want to line our edges up. Like so, that we're just making that round. Now I'm going to take a slip stitch, a stitch marker, and find my last stitch approximately, just to hold this together while I'm sewing. We're going to take our yarn needle, thread up the yarn, maybe we're going to thread it in. I don't generally have this much trouble threading a needle. There we go. And we're going to go into our first stitch right here, like so. And then from there, that knot will pull up tight. Go from the underside so the seam's not as noticeable. how far down. Just a couple of stitches. I'm going to go one more right here. Tie that down good. And then we are going to skip 4 stitches on each side. So we'll take our yarn and we'll just, there will be 1 right here, 2, 3. And then 2, 3, and there's 4. Let me thread this back through that stitch like this. And on the other side, we're skipping 4 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go in under here. Start tying this together. Let me snip that tail, I forgot it. And we have a thumb hole started there. Now I skipped 4 stitches. If you don't want to crochet around the thumb hole, then you can just maybe skip 3. Just depends on the size of the hand you're doing this for, how big the finger is, but I'm skipping 4 here. We're just going to continue this and sew this all the way down to the side and finish off, and our crochet Minecraft skeleton glove will be complete. So once I finish this, well, weave in the ends and somebody will have a skeleton glove. We can make you fast forward this. Okay, we're on our last stitch here. Slip in right there. And then I'm going to just go into there and make a little knot to secure that down, and we will slide this back up our stitches to weave it in. after you complete this, there are a great number of things you could do with it. You can reattach your yarn here and crochet around these 8 stitches to make the glove come up the finger holes. You could reattach your yarn up here and just single crochet around and around on both ends. You could do a rib border and attach to the end. Just make sure you got 25 stitches for each. And you have a set of crochet Minecraft skeleton gloves. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me today, and we will be back within the next week or so. I'm going to do a Minecraft creeper beanie and glove set as well, which those gloves will be a little bigger than these. And again, I will put the written pattern for this on my blog, as well as link it on Facebook. So give us a like and a share if you enjoy this channel, and we'll see you next time.